If this pod had a favorite genre, it would definitely be twin swapping. This week, we're revisiting It Takes Two, the 90s twin switch rom-com that gave us summer camp drama, Evil Fiancé, and the Olsen twins' first full-length feature. Welcome to No More Late Fees. I'm Danielle.
And I'm Jackie, and we're just two best friends and ex-Blockbuster employees rewatching some of the best and worst movies from the late 90s and early 2000s. This week, we're covering It Takes Two from 1995, starring Mary-Kate and Ashley Olsen in their theatrical big screen debut. Well, before we dive in, let's get into some housekeeping. If you love the podcast and you want to support us, here is how you can.
Make sure that you hit that subscribe button on your favorite podcast platform to make sure you get notifications when a new episode is live.
And joining us is our returning guest, Sonia, because if there's comedic chaos involved, she's clocked in. Welcome back.
Hey, so happy to be back. This is so exciting. And for a movie, I don't hate the stuff. You guys have it's taken so long for me to redeem myself. You guys. I really like every once in a while I'll go back and listen to it. I'm like, I came in so fucking hot. Like, I don't disagree with anything I said. Like, if anything, I feel stronger. But like, and I've been you know, what's the word? Vindicated by time.
Yes.
But like in general, I still went kind of crazy for a movie that people love. And I'm sorry.
We got a lot of heat from people talking about like more recently because now people are discovering us and they were like, it's a good Christmas movie. You guys were.
No, it's not. No, it's fucking not.
You guys are just being too harsh and blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, whoa, okay, well, opinions are opinions.
Yeah, sorry I enjoy critical thinking. Sorry to apply critical thinking to even stupid shit. Like,
and sometimes it's like, when's the last time you watched this movie? Because
that's the part.
Back in 2000, in the early 2000s, it's not the same movie you remember.
So, like, guys, we're gonna die on the hill of like Anna Faris's character like sexually assaulting him. Like, basically, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this is your king. This is the movie you're, you know. Like, if I was tearing this movie apart, then yeah, whatever, fucking at me all day long. But I'm not going to because it's delightful.
Yes.
The other movie, like Just Friends, is fucked up and it's nice guy culture, you guys. Like, I'm sorry.
We have hard opinions.
We've never been shy about our opinions on this podcast. Like, that's the point.
And again, of all the hills to die on, Just Friends. Be serious. Like,
yeah.
He's so fucking for real. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna be really nice about this one, I promise. Even about Kirstie Alley.
Well, I might have some bullets in my
gun. I didn't say I wasn't going to bring it. I'm just saying that I'm going to generally be nice.
And if you want to get to know Sonia a little bit better, make sure you check out her previous episode, like we just said, Just Friends. And this week's bonus episode where we rank the worst 90s and 2000s movie future stepmoms. That sounds weird, but you'll get it when you get there. Jackie, tell us about the movie.
So street smart orphan Amanda and wealthy socialite Alyssa discover they're identical and decide to stop the gold-digging fiance from marrying Alyssa's father, and to play matchmaker for their respective guardians. Shenanigans, camp hijinks, and 90s fashion ensue. It stars Mary-Kate Olsen, Ashley Olsen, Kirstie Alley, Steve Guttenberg, Philip Bosco, and Jane Sibbett. It was directed by Andy Tennant, who would later go on to direct Ever After, Sweet Home Alabama, and Hitch. It was written by Deborah Dean Davis, and you can currently watch it for free on Pluto.
I also want to add one more place you can find it, because I watched it on Canopy.
Oh.
So if you have a library card and you have Canopy and Hoopla, it may be on there as well. So I'm gonna plug those
Support
apps.
our libraries.
Support your local library.
But before we start, let's get into our ratings rewind.
So, you know the drill. Before we get into the movie, we'll reveal the rating our Y2K versions of ourselves would give, and then at the end, we'll see if our current selves agree with our initial rating. Our scale consists of would buy it again,
The best would play on repeat,
5-day rental,
would watch again.
2-day rental,
Okay, but nothing to write home about.
and same-day rental.
Put gum in its hair. It's trash.
All right, Sonia, what is your rating, your Y2K rating?
My Y2K rating is owned it religiously, watched it religiously, would buy it again, 100%.
Jackie?
Same. I wish I was better about looking to see if I had it, but we had it on VHS and we watched the crap out of it.
I want to clear the record.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
Jackie and I, this episode is going to close the chapter, close the book on a long argument that we have of The Parent Trap and It Takes Two.
Oh, let's do it. Let's get into it.
I just want to make it clear that my response to Jackie regarding The Parent Trap has nothing to do with It Takes Two. She does believe this movie is better than Parent Trap. I don't know if I agree with that just from my love of The Parent Trap, but I absolutely love this movie probably just as much. As I was watching this, I was saying lines. I was blow drying my hair.
Oh, yeah.
I was saying lines. I didn't know I knew those lines. I looked around to see who the hell was in the bathroom with me
That's
as
literally
I was blow drying my hair.
the part of my brain that unlocked was who I absolutely adore.
Yeah. I was like, who is this bitch? And it unlocked that. Oh my God, I watched this movie so much. So it is a would buy. I don't hate this movie. It's never been a competition. The only reason I say this is that it always blows my mind how much Jackie dislikes The Parent Trap when I feel like the two are not that far removed from each other. I know the concepts are a little different, but I just don't understand it.
There's a decent amount of overlap. And remember how I said I wasn't really going to be coached?
Please.
I know
it.
you've said that you like this movie better than Parent Trap. You've
I
said
think
it.
I think that this is a better movie,
Mhm.
but I think that Lindsay Lohan is the superior actress of Twins.
Correct. That is the correct.
Like,
I think
I actually feel, and actually in hindsight, I feel a little bad saying that, knowing that the Olsen twins were like 8 years old and Lindsay Lohan was probably closer to like 11,
maybe.
12.
Yeah.
So I'm like, yeah, obviously she's a couple years older. She's a better actress. But like, she so effectively plays twins. Like, I think that like, you want to talk about like, I think Lindsay Lohan is hands down the best performance of The Parent Trap.
Yeah.
Honestly, you could take the Olsen twins out of It Takes Two for me, and I'm still locked into this movie.
100%. And I think even if Lindsay was the same age as them, she still would have clocked it. Like,
Yeah.
she played two roles. She did
No,
a harder.
Lindsay has always been that girl. Lindsay has always been that girl.
Because we'll get into it. I've got a lot of thoughts about accents, but I will say this is their best work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Show me a movie that do better. I think this is the best Olsen twin movie, like from their acting.
Well, that's the thing, because that's really the tea, because it's like Lindsay Lohan could have done It Takes Two, but the Olsen twins could not have
Never do. No.
Yeah.
Because this accent, whatever Ashley is attempting to do as Alyssa is bad enough, let alone a whole ass British accent. I'm sorry, it's not gonna work.
Mm-mm.
Yeah. There were a lot of questionable accents, and then like switching and then trying to pretend like I kind of have this accent but I don't, and then I have to pretend to like be the other person. Like, yeah, it gets very muddied. I feel like being on Full House for so long really stunted their acting growth because Michelle was kind of one note. And so they didn't really have to work on range. And so then when they transitioned into movies, like they just didn't have the acting chops that people their age did.
But they never got it. See, that's
I
my
agree,
issue.
They never needed to. No, Jackie's
They-
right. They never needed to because they were gonna get booked regardless. We were going to watch it regardless.
Also,
Whereas
I
Lindsay,
don't.
oh sorry, really, I
Go
always
ahead.
think about that anecdote with Lindsay Lohan, how like some Disney exec came up to her at the wrap party or whatever and was like, "Oh, where's your twin?" She's like, "You should have paid me double."
Yes,
Right.
I did have
Like-
that thought.
She's that girl.
Yeah.
She forever will be that girl.
I also think that the Olsen twins really didn't want to be acting. They were
No,
put
they
in
didn't.
at such a young age. They were just checking in, making their paycheck because this is what they've known their whole life. But it wasn't a passion for them.
Yeah.
Their
Great point.
passion is now like reflected in their involvement in fashion and things like that.
Correct.
And so it's just like I can phone it in, make money, whatever. I did read that Jane Sibbett is just Carol to me because that's who she plays on Friends.
Right.
Jane Sibbett did say that the Olsen twins were lovely, and then there were kids on, or like the kids of, I don't remember who it was, a producer or someone, had birthdays while they were shooting, and so they like threw them birthday parties and got them presents and stuff. So she said that they were just lovely tiny humans,
I believe it.
and spoke very highly of them.
Well, that's good.
I do want to say this, like from an acting in the craft, yes, I agree that pretty gowns, beautiful gowns. That's how I feel about it. But I will say what they had besides them, like I think a lot of people rest a lot of the fact that they were twins
Mm-hmm.
as the it factor, but that wasn't it. They were tastemakers, right?
Oh,
like
totally.
when you look back at and when we did that interview, what's his name, Jackie?
Oh, I don't know.
Steve?
I think it's
Jack.
Steve. Hold on, I'll look it up.
Statistically, yes.
Steve Purcell.
Statistically,
Okay.
probably.
When we did that interview with Steve, he talked about like that they put in input. And I think a lot of those movies, why those like direct to VHS, their empire, why it worked so much is because they gave their insight of what they wanted to do and the boys that they wanted to pick and the outfits that they wanted to wear. And that led to them like they had impeccable taste, even for young children. Like they had a vision. I know there was a lot of adults that were putting all that together, but I think they did have a lot to do with it. And look at the empire they built. As
Right.
much as we love Lindsay,
Well, you know,
It's not this-
parenting makes a difference.
yes, they did have better parents.
Because don't forget, in case y'all forgot, this movie that we are currently discussing today is a dual star production.
Yes.
Yes.
Like their production team, whatever that meant for 8-year-olds, Mary Kate and Ashley at that time, you know, like it's that, like
Yeah.
that was cemented for them. So
Their parents were
parenting makes a
very, very
difference.
smart. And their business, whoever was like helping them run that business, very intelligent.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into the box office. And I will say, this won't be spent me comparing The Parent Trap.
Okay.
I just want to
No
enjoy talking about this movie.
Yeah.
So this movie came out November 17th. The budget was $11 million. It grossed $19.5 million worldwide, which they didn't think it was a hit. But guess what? In home videos, $75 million in home video sales.
That's crazy.
It making it Warner Brothers Home Video's fourth biggest seller in the family category. Period.
Love
Like-
to see it.
That is a lot of cheddar.
Yes.
That's crazy. I want to know what beat it out. Like I saw this same stat and I was like, it's gonna take too much work to figure it out, but that is a crazy number.
Yeah, that's a lot of money. So, what was in the box office, Jackie?
So it came in fourth, which not terrible for a little family film. Number 1, GoldenEye. We've done that on the podcast. Number 2, Ace Ventura: When Nature Calls. I did not realize that was in our time frame, and
I'm
I'm
so
very
sad.
excited.
That was the perfect reaction for both of us. I knew it was in our time period. I just was like, oh, maybe she won't bring it up. Damn.
Now I know.
Now you know. And I know who's going to be on that episode as well.
Yeah, probably.
John.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I love it. Okay, number 3, The American President, another really good movie. 4, It Takes Two. 5, Get Shorty. 6, Copycat. 7, Powder. 8, Home for the Holidays. 9, 7, the movie 7.
Which we've done.
Which we've done. And then 10, Now and Then, which we've done. So we've done now 4 of the top
movies.
10 movies from this week.
And Ace Ventura was its second week it held on. Like,
wow.
GoldenEye, The American President, and I think It Takes Two were all new for that weekend.
Wow.
So how did this movie get made? Well, Reicher Entertainment had tried selling the film to various studios. They tried Paramount Pictures, New Line, MGM, TriStar, but all of those studios turned them down. Now Warner Brothers picked it up for theatrical and home video rights because they had a deal with Mary-Kate and Ashley's company Dual Star. Coincidentally, Paramount Pictures is the current owner of Reicher Entertainment's film library. So that includes this film, and MGM distributed all of their films theatrically for a period of time. So
interesting.
Somehow, some way, they all made money on it. Now, Little Raj, I know we bring this up every episode, but it's
never going to stop because justice for Babs.
How do you give Babs 0 stars? And somebody in our comments, one of our posts did really well. It was like 20 Black films, and Babs was in there. And they wrote, this movie was horrible, ghetto, stereotypical, blah, blah, blah. I said, get the fuck out of my comments.
Don't get me started. That's so fucked up. Like, it's so much, there's so much fucking nuance to that movie. Leave Babs alone. But I'm surprised so Roger Ebert up there with fucking Robert De Niro, like, you know, the only thing a white woman can do for him is give him directions.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you know, Robert Ebert, I'm surprised. Roger.
Yeah. I think it was like, you know, sometimes when a white person dates a Black person or they are friends with a Black person for the first time, it's like all of a sudden they're like Black power, and then they're fighting everything. You know,
Roger Ebert was being the woke friend.
Yeah, too woke. Like, don't speak on things you're not a part of.
Yeah.
So, but I do remember at the time a lot of Black people looked at Babs as not being like the way we should be represented.
No, it's definitely you appreciate it more with hindsight than I was going over at the time. But
for this movie, he gave it 2 out of 4 stars. He called it harmless and fitfully amusing with a numbingly predictable plot and praiseworthy performances. It's a lot of fluff.
What if I said, would you guys be mad at me if I said that he's not entirely wrong?
No, he's not. He's not. And I'm not mad. I'm not mad at what he reviewed this. It's just kills me that he's constantly seeing that he's giving everybody stars, and he did that to Babs.
Yeah, that's fair. Okay. Yeah, fair enough.
So, anywho, before we get into cast and crew, let's hear a message from our pod pal.
How many times have you heard somebody say the book is better than the movie?
Or that you should read the book before you even watch the movie?
Ever wondered how true that is?
Well, here at Box Office Books, we try to settle the score.
I, Abby, watch the movies.
And I, Sarah, read the books.
So you don't have to.
And then we compare, contrast, and argue.
Discuss.
About which one did it better.
So if you've ever been personally victimized by a bad book-to-movie adaptation,
or if you've only seen the movie and you want to know what you're missing,
or if you just enjoy some good old-fashioned sibling banter.
And by banter, she means me trying to keep this podcast on track while she tries to derail us.
Somebody has to keep things interesting.
Well, then Box Office Books is the podcast for you. You can find us wherever you listen to podcasts.
New episodes are released on Friday, so join us.
And tell us which one you think is better.
Now, Jackie,
a lot of names in this cast and crew.
What I don't know what movie we just recorded that just like had nothing, but this one has everything. So
it was Blast from the Past.
Yeah. Everybody and their mama, they needed and wanted to be in this film.
We read questionable facts from a subreddit. that we had no validation on.
That's so funny because because I saw these same facts because I was like looking for anything, like any sort of oral history,
Yeah.
whatever. on this
Yes.
movie. And like there is not a lot to be found, which is kind of disappointing. But like I saw this list of like people who were supposed to be cast, and I was like, I don't know about all this.
Yeah.
But
It was never like all of this was the producers and the casting director was like, let's try and get this person,
Mhm.
and that was it.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, okay. So starting out with the role of Amanda and Alyssa, I'm assuming they were gonna do like not a Freaky Friday,
Like a Parent Trap
a
thing.
Parent Trap sitch where the same actress plays both roles. So Mara Wilson was considered after director Andy Tennant had seen her in Mrs. Doubtfire and Miracle on 34th Street. She was unavailable because she was doing Matilda. Then they went to Christina Ricci, but she was doing Casper.
Which
I-
Yeah.
like in both cases, holy shit. Like
I think Christina Ricci would have looked way too old,
yeah.
I had that thought too.
and
And
Mara
she's
Wilson.
not like silly enough. Like neither of these
No.
actresses like very incredible generational youth talent, not goofy and camp enough to
No,
play.
that I was gonna say Mara Wilson. I can't she's always just been like a very serious child in every
Yeah.
movie she's
Yeah.
been in.
Give me a Mae Whitman. Like, give me someone with
that
acting
would have been
chops.
fun.
Or hold on, stick with me. Don't leave me. Hold on. Or a Michelle Trachtenberg,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Okay.
because she was in the running. I know I was so talking about Parent Trap, but she was in the running. I think she was supposed to be in the Parent Trap, and then something fell through. So I think she could have been fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, Penelope Spheris, who had directed the Olsen twins in a cameo in The Little Rascals, was originally asked to direct this film. However, Lorne Michaels reached out to her to direct Black Sheep, and so she chose to work with Chris Farley instead.
Now this one. So we talked about Amanda Alyssa.
Uh-huh.
Let's talk about Diane because
This is
some of
crazy. This is what the fuck was this man thinking?
I don't like, and this is just a symptom that we've talked about quite a few times in Hollywood, because when we talk about the female lead and some of the people they're talking about, it's just like, what? Winona Ryder was director Andy Tennant's first choice. Winona Ryder. Jackie, see if you could do the math and tell me how old Winona Ryder was in 1994, because that's probably when they filmed the movie.
Yeah.
He wanted her to be Diane. Now,
That's-
mind you, who we got is Kirstie Alley. So is the math's not mathing.
Who could frankly be her mother? Like, I think
Right.
like one of the interesting things, because I remember like listening to this episode of the Bechdel cast like years ago, that they were talking about how there's like a good size age gap between Kirstie Alley and Steve Guttenberg, but Kirstie Alley's the older one.
Oh, that's
Oh,
surprising.
I like
Yeah,
that.
she was 43 and Steve Guttenberg was 36.
Oh.
Damn.
Winona Ryder was 23.
Jail. Electric chair. Like Andy Tennant put like on a list, perhaps? I don't know. Because what
Should
the
be.
fuck?
Should be on a
Also-
list. So then they wanted Julia Louise Dreyfus instead. I could see it.
See, I was
Absolutely.
going to say I kind of feel the opposite end of the spectrum where she's like too silly.
Mm.
She's a little too like
But
over the
back
top
then,
to
it,
play this.
I mean, yes, on Seinfeld, but if you look at some of her older roles before she blew up, she was very dry in some of the other movies.
No, I mean I love Veep is my favorite. Like Veep,
Yeah.
Veep is everything. I just think again like she lacks some of that warmth,
Yeah.
but like in the other direction.
Yeah. Well, luckily, Seinfeld producers wouldn't let her out of her contract, so
enough.
that did not happen. And I don't even know what chemistry she would have had with Steve if that's who they chose.
Yeah.
So there's a laundry list of actresses. I'm telling you, they just took a list and went just like,
Yeah.
and just pressing whoever. But I'm gonna just pull out the ones that I think are very interesting or out of depth. Gina Davis would have had the warmth and
Yes.
the comedic that they would have
Yeah.
had to get someone very tall to be
Mhm.
with her. And I don't know. And well, she wouldn't have to look like the kid, so I think it works.
Yeah.
I'm trying
Laura
to think.
Dern might have been a decent choice out of this list, but I guess she
Yeah.
wasn't like a big enough deal.
Goldie Hawn and Sigourney Weaver, I feel would have been too old.
That's what I was thinking too.
Maybe not Sigourney, but definitely Goldie.
I don't hate Sandra Bullock.
No,
No, but at the time, we didn't
I don't
know
think she was
her.
there yet. Yeah. Like I
Yeah.
think some of these people, like some of the people on this list would be
Weren't.
good, but they were like not famous enough to be like
Yeah.
the adults in the room in the movie, you know, to be on the marquee.
Melanie Griffith would have been good, I think. Wouldn't have been
Yeah.
bad. Because
Some of
I'm
these were
thinking
real
Milk Money.
pie in the sky.
Right?
Like, because Meg Ryan was available to do a fucking kids movie in like 1994. Be serious.
These would have been, it would have been a different
Madonna.
movie. Julia Roberts would have never said yes. Catherine O'Hara would have been good. R.I.P. our
That would have been
queen.
cute, but I could see that being like a case where she's like, I just did this kind of thing. Like,
Yeah. Madonna? Why?
crazy pull. They were just saying anybody. They were like, are you famous and white? Are you a famous white woman in 1994? Congratulations, you're considered.
I love that Reba's on this list. For
Right.
no reason.
She's
at
a
all.
survivor.
She is a survivor.
Hello?
Single mom who works two
Works
jobs.
2 jobs. Yeah, no, she's bringing that energy. She's bringing that energy.
And at
Honestly,
that point, we didn't know her as an actress at all. If
No.
we even knew her as a
wait,
singer.
when was, oh my God, what the fuck movie is she in?
Tremors. She's,
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
That was 1990.
Right, so okay, we definitely didn't know Reba as an
And
actress.
when I say if you knew her as a singer, there's populations that didn't. So I'm just putting it
Yeah.
out there. All right. Now let's talk about Vincenzo. Well, actually, let's skip Vincenzo and let's talk about Roger because
Okay.
that list is insane. Richard Gere
Oh.
Of course.
was offered the role of Roger Calloway, but he turned it down. Oh, he was advised by his agents to turn it down in order to make Primal Fear instead.
I feel
Very
like
smart choice because
Yeah,
that was a
they're
really
not
good
wrong.
movie.
Yeah. No, he would not have.
First of all, I don't even know why his agents would say, let's do Primal Fear instead. I just feel like he would have never done this movie.
Yeah. Like,
Yeah.
well, also, too, it's weirdly got the same kind of like, oh, I'm playing an emotionally distant rich guy again.
Mhm.
Right.
Sick. Like, you know?
But he also doesn't have the warmth that
Yeah.
I think Steve
Yeah.
Guttenberg brought.
No, I think, well, what's funny is like, I don't think this is a role that required warmth because, as we mentioned on the bonus episode, like,
Right.
nobody's expecting anything of the dads. But
Right.
like, I think what makes this movie, like, what takes this movie to another level is Steve Guttenberg's warmth.
Yes.
Yes.
100%.
Tim Robbins was also offered the role of Roger Calloway, but he was directing Dead Man Walking at the same time. Again, with the warmth. Like, I don't find Tim Robbins to be a warm actor.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's a better choice than Richard Gere, but like these are not people I picture like. I think they both kind of take themselves too seriously to ever be in a movie where you're second fiddle to a kid.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Now we can talk about Vincenzo. Vincenzo.
This
So-
list is crazy. This list is crazy. Crazier. They were like, "Are you a famous man?
Yeah.
Were you famous at any point in the last 20 years? You're in."
Honorable mentions, and not in a good way. Rowan Atkinson, Atkinson, Mr.
Yeah,
Bean.
Mr. Bean.
You want to talk about lack of warmth?
He would
Like,
have just,
please
I don't know. He
get
would've
his
been
British
so,
ass out of here.
He'd have been so weird. I'd have been like, you shouldn't be around my child. I don't know. I
No.
just,
Which is so fun. Like, because he plays that asshole butler in something, doesn't he?
yeah, it feels, yeah, that's the vibe. I don't know if he's
Yeah.
actually done it, but yeah.
Like
Um,
some of them I love Vincenzo so much. It's hard
I
for
know.
me to like get out of that mindset of like this very proper
And I think what's
British
interesting
man.
about this list is like it would bring a completely different
Yes.
vibe. Like it's not that it would necessarily be bad, it would just be so fucking different
Yes.
that like we're talking about different movies. Like I can't envision it that far.
Especially
Paul
because
Rubens?
Vincenzo as he
Paul Rubens
appears-
is a crazy Paul.
Yes.
Sorry, Jackie.
You're good.
Sorry.
Like Vincenzo as he appears on screen is like the straight man to kind of the antics that are going on. He brings it back together. And
Right.
like,
Yeah.
Straight
And so-
man, but still warm.
yes.
Still
But-
warm.
Like to have a Martin Short, it's like then we have Goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or
John
even
Candy.
Eric Idle, like it still plays into that like goofy thing rather than like, okay,
you also-
he's the one, he's gonna get shit done.
You also need like a character actor because the butler can't be more famous than
Yes.
than the dad.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
you need somebody who's like, yeah, just that character actor, which obviously some of these people are character actors, but like, again, they bring a much different vibe, or they're like a big name character actor.
Yeah.
Right.
Like,
That
I
it's
can
like
see-
you're considering anybody. Christopher Walken, like, you know what I mean? Patrick Stewart, like, it's
Yeah.
not the same vibe.
Jack Nicholson is on this list. Like,
Mm.
what?
They were asking anybody. The only person here I could see being like, no, because he was too famous, is that like Bob Newhart. That it's
Right.
like he probably would have had that same warmth, but like
Yeah.
too famous at that time.
Yeah.
I would have said he was probably too young to play Vincenzo, but like a Stanley Tucci. Like someone
Yeah.
who's very stoic but very warm.
Okay,
Yeah.
because you have here that like John Candy was like considered, but then he died before you asked him. And I think that while I don't know if that would have been the right choice, I do like the idea of making Vincenzo a peer,
Mm-hmm.
like age-wise, like closer in age, because I think that it would bring like a business. Because like Vincenzo's job is like very confusing.
Yeah,
Yes.
like just do
Vincenzo does
everything,
everything.
because how
He
much do
handles
they pay him?
Yeah.
enough. Like that man is well taken care of because he's raising Roger's kid. He's
Right.
like handling Roger's business and he's running the house. And that's his best man. So I'm not saying that like he's not a beloved family member at this point, but like when is that man an independent? Does he have a life? Is he allowed
I
PTO?
feel like Vincenzo was in the mob and now he's just hiding out as Roger's butler. But that's why he can get shit done because he knows everyone.
He's a fixer.
And by First Wise Club, he's fully
Yes.
able to come back out and be in the mob
Yes,
again.
exactly.
Exactly.
I love that we pretend that this exists in the same
Yes.
universe.
We're just a little like extended universe.
Oh my god, so funny.
Harvey Firestein was suggested for the role of Vincenzo by Kirstie Alley because they were on Cheers a few episodes together, but he was busy with Independence Day and had to
Amazing.
pass.
Sensational.
Sir Anthony Hopkins and Sir Michael Caine. Mind you, they're knighted. What could you imagine them being in It Takes Two? They declined the role of Vincenzo.
Again, what? Like, why are you asking like the third billed adult like to be this like Oscar nominated? Like it's maybe by this point, I'm not sure, but like be
Insane.
serious.
Yeah. Oh man.
So, turning our attention to Clarice, there were a couple that I could see and then others that completely baffled me. Starting with Miranda Richardson. Absolutely. I mean, they even look kind of similar. Glenn Close, but she was 11 years older than Steve Guttenberg, so they decided that was not a good fit.
To
Only-
Kirstie Alley's
I was gonna say
7.
Right.
only one older woman allowed.
Yes. It was just too old.
Right. Everybody's simply too old.
Bonnie Hunt, which I think Bonnie Hunt could have played the Diane character, absolutely,
Totally.
Yes.
but not Clarice. She's too
Sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never seen her be a mean person.
It
How
would be
do
bad
we-
for her brand, I feel like.
Yeah.
How do we feel about Shannon Doherty playing Clarice?
I need somebody to do math quick because that feels another.
She would have been really young and it would have just been weird, but she could play a bitch real easy, so
She really can.
Yeah. But then, like, I feel like, I don't know, in a kid's context is different. You have to be a different kind of bitch.
Yeah. No, I think she would have been too young. It would have been weird. And they also asked Tori Spelling, or she was considered.
We just
But
going down the list of Beverly Hills 90210.
I
Right.
guess so. But it's weird because Shannon was doing Mallrats and I don't know, because why did they was Shannon not on the show anymore by 95?
I'm also, like, dead laughing because it's like, isn't your dad the boss?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, your dad won't let you off? Like, you know him.
Clearly, there's family problems. That girl her mom refuses to die and also refuses to give her any money. Like, that shit is wild over there. Oh boy.
Oh my God, what weird choices.
Could you imagine this though being a Rob Reiner film? I feel like it would
Yes.
be completely different.
Yes, oh my God, don't bring it up. I'm so
I
sorry.
know. They almost asked him to direct, but they had qualms about it because of North that came out in 94. It was a huge flop and nearly destroyed his directing career, which I think is crazy.
Yeah,
They give so
sometimes-
many other people movies. He's done so many hits.
Yeah.
But after he died and you saw how many movies he did, you realized that he never really stayed in a genre per se.
No.
Like most he was all like he's touched every genre you could think of. And so what? North wasn't a hit. He did When Harry Met Sally. He did Stand By Me.
This is off several huge hits.
Right.
Like
Give me a
iconic
break.
films of various genres. That's crazy.
They were skiing the slopes over there.
And they were like, "Oh, sorry, you're persona non grata to do this fucking kids movie."
Yeah.
Again, be serious.
Guess what he ended up doing? He went and made The American President.
The movie that did
Which
better at the box
beat
office.
them
Yeah.
in the box office.
That's crazy.
Talk about karma.
Absolutely.
All right,
Well,
Jackie, you ready?
You ready? I feel like talking about the movie, like talking about what happens in the movie is going to be very short. Our commentary on how much we love this movie is going to be very long. So we open the movie with they're in New York City. Amanda is playing stickball in the street with the other orphans because why not orphans?
Well, it's based off Oliver Twist. a
No,
little bit.
the Prince and the Pauper.
Yes.
Thank you. Sorry,
Yeah.
Prince and the Pauper. So it makes sense, I think.
So we're introduced to Amanda, and she's one hell of a stickball player, but she's dressed in a dress because she's going to meet potential parents to adopt her. Was it on Staten Island? Yes.
Yes, which was a big warning flag that shit wasn't going to be
Yeah,
right.
I love that if you know joke about like you got to go to Staten Island. Ooh. Ooh,
And I'm
spooky.
sorry to our Staten Island listeners. I don't know how you got here. My bad.
I was
but-
gonna say I'm not sorry. I'm not sorry. You guys are basically Alabama but New York. Like,
Yeah.
and honestly, that's more insulting to the people of Alabama. Let me apologize to the people of Alabama. It is the Alabama stereotype in New York.
Yeah, I don't understand how they exist, but just stay to your island.
Please.
Just stay there.
Oh.
So we are introduced then to Diane. She is one of the social workers that works at the orphanage, and she has really taken a shine to Amanda. We find out that she wants to adopt Amanda, but because she is a single woman and she doesn't make enough, she doesn't qualify for adoption, which is wild. We have an entire building full of children that need loving parents. And you're going to tell her no. Meanwhile, the butt kisses are running a child labor camp over in their whatever they do. It looked like a junkyard.
It's a scrap heap, right?
Thank
Like,
you.
it's
Yeah.
Yeah.
a junkyard
Wild.
thing.
Yeah. Which brought me back, and not in a good way, because when I was teaching, I taught special needs kids. And when I first started, there was this guy that fostered / adopted. He had no less than 10 boys at a time.
Mm.
And number one, if you adopt a child that has special needs, you get paid more. And number two, it was always just very questionable if those boys were not being abused in some manner. And so that just
Yeah.
made me feel all the feels for the other adopted children in the Butt Kiss family that were being treated
Right.
unfairly.
And not to like make it silly after what you just said, which was very serious,
Yeah.
but how the hell you changing my name and calling me fucking Betty and shit?
You're allowed to do that.
Betty Butkus, why are you trying to make me get beat up on top of being adopted and
Yeah.
labor?
Yeah. Crazy.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Those people look creepy as hell, by
So
the way.
creepy.
They
It
did
was
a
very like Tim Burton-esque.
Yes.
Yes.
Or like Matilda, where it was like
Yeah.
Was the mom
caricatures.
the same girl, the same woman who was in One Fine Day as the
That's a great question.
sanitary commissioner's
Oh.
wife?
Let me look and see. Mrs. Buttkiss, where
While
are
you
you?
look that up, one of the things I do love about the beginning of the movie that I noticed this time around is that you don't initially see their faces. You just see two little girls having two very different experiences,
Mhm.
which I was like, oh, that's cute, you know,
Yeah.
because you don't know what's happening.
Yeah. No, go ahead.
Oh no, the other thing, it was really nice to see kids playing out in the street. That was one of
Yes.
my favorite things about growing up and living in New York is that we would play outside, you know.
No, I was gonna say the English major in me loved like the symbolism of like they had the judges of the piano competition versus the, like the three guys sitting out like on the sidewalk, and they had like there was something else. It was like they showed Alyssa with the trophy and then Amanda like do something else. Like I really
Mhm.
love that they really tried to be like their lives are parallel in
Yes.
interesting ways. I wish they almost like if anything like it's would be cool if they like brought in a little bit more like whimsy, magic, whatever, not complaining. Also something that I love just because I saw some news about this recently about how accents are disappearing, like regional accents are disappearing, and this is such an interesting time capsule of New York accents across the board.
Yeah. Very
Like
true.
it so doesn't exist anymore because like New Yorkers are being priced out of the city. So like, you know what I mean? Like true New Yorkers and like, so many more transplants coming in and like, I mean, and this is not exclusive to New York, right? But like,
You see it there first.
yeah, but like, well, I mean, you see it like in a lot of different, like the South, they say it's like having a lot of that problem too. And like Boston and things like that. So it's like, it was just so cute because you don't hear, like, I know there's that commercial that goes around every once in a while and it's like from like the 70s or 80s and they're like, hey, tell your sister to take a shorter bath and then there's lead, like she'd be using less water. And I was like, oh, that's so sweet. But like seeing it even in the 90s, it's so like, oh my God.
Yeah.
I just always feel though like it's funny because these dialects that you normally hear in movies and stuff and that you attribute to like New York or Boston or whatever, the Black people in those cities never have those accents. They have a completely different dialect.
That's true.
And so I do feel like even as these things shift, the Black communities will always have a different, they will, one, still continue to have dialects, and two, they will always be different than their white
I was gonna
counterparts.
say, I would say the like New York, I feel like it's an Italian accent does seep into a lot of the Black New York accent. There is like I
Yes.
feel like a tiny bit of overlap there, but like in general, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
So I was kind of so is Alyssa at like boarding school and now she's
Yeah.
going to her,
Coming home for the summer.
but that house they said that he hadn't been able to go there in like 10 years since the mom died. So it's not her typical residence, but it seems to have all her stuff.
Yeah, they moved it over.
I guess rich people can do that.
Yeah, just
guess
like
it
in
was just-
Bridgerton, it's like we're going to this house for the summer. They plan out things months in advance. We're
Right.
going to stay at the house, and then the rich people send their servants to get the room ready for Alyssa. And you saw all those bags that she had with her stuff. So yeah, they just moved everything over.
Wild.
Different life.
So she shows up and she's asking Vincenzo, like, what's going on? Is there going to be a party? Is it for me? Let's do this. And so then she shows up at the house and her dad greets her and she's like, I'm ready for my party. And he's like looking at Vincenzo and he's like, I didn't say fucking anything to her. And she's like, I guessed. And the hesitancy of telling your daughter, hey, I'm engaged, and then just springing this woman upon her is wild.
I feel
Yeah.
like what he should have done is like, hey, I have a girlfriend. Started there and then worked their way up to having an engagement party. Because to tell her the day of your engagement party,
So irresponsible.
it's crazy, 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 crazy. And the moment, so like directly after this happens, you know, she is not computing this very well
Mhm.
because I don't think he tells her right away.
He
It's not
doesn't.
until
Like,
until
it's not until like they're
comes.
about to get ready that she's finally like, can you just tell her, please?
Yeah.
And then directly after finding this out, you're in your dad's office, you hide when she comes and you hear her like the vitriol that she's spitting about not only just how ugly she thinks the house is, she starts disparagingly talking about your dead mother.
Yes.
Crazy work.
Oh, I would have bitten an ankle. Like, I would have just been so enraged.
I also
An
love that she
ankle.
had that she was bad enough to like, she was badass enough to be like, oh, I'm here, by
Yeah.
the way. Like, not even like, oh, I'm gonna wait until she leaves the room, like whatever. She's like, oh no, I caught you, I got this on camera.
But not only that, going downstairs and yelling for her dad and immediately telling him what's going on.
Amazing.
And for the dad not to believe your child that seemingly you have a great relationship with, there's no reason for her to lie.
She
Especially because-
she didn't say what she said. That's the thing that always tripped me up is
Yeah.
that she doesn't tell her dad that Clarice said this about mom and the house. Clarice like quickly tries to take over the narrative and just says, "Oh, I just said that we need to redecorate." And then she goes, "What's going on?" I always get mad that she doesn't say to her dad, "This bitch out here talking about mom
Sending me to,
redecorating."
Yeah.
like, back to boarding school.
Right, but I don't know if she says that right away.
Oh, she might be
Oh,
talking.
yeah, that is.
Yeah, she doesn't say that.
one-on-one.
So in that moment, he doesn't not believe her.
Mhm.
He's actually, I don't have a lot of smoke for him as much as I do for Nick Parker
Yeah.
because she doesn't tell him.
He's kind of just assuming the best of everybody involved.
Yeah. Yeah, he
Laura-
does seem like a nice
Sorry.
guy.
Now Alyssa's found out that her father and Clarice are engaged and they're throwing an engagement party. And so she's packing her things and she's leaving to go across to the camp, I guess, or just sit in the woods for a while to pout.
Sure, why not?
At the same time, over all of the orphans once a year are brought to this camp. It seems to be a
Like a clean air fund type.
Yeah. And so it's like free of charge for different groups to be able to go to this camp that we find out Alyssa's mom has established or had established because she was a school teacher. And so she wanted to do something for underprivileged kids.
How
And
crazy
so-
is it that she set up something for her husband to find his new wife?
Right?
Divine intervention.
Yeah.
Wild.
So we see Amanda and they're talking about the house across the lake, Alyssa's house. And they're like, no one's ever lived there, blah, blah, blah. It's haunted. The typical stereotype of like big
A big
mansion that no
house.
one's at. And so all of the kids are like, we dare you to go knock on the door. There's a ghost there, all of this stuff. And Amanda's like, I'm not fucking scared. Let me go.
Yeah, that's a big trait about her personality is that all the other kids know that she's not afraid of anything. But that house gave me 50 Shades of Grey vibes when they got that house. Which movie is it? The second or the third one where they get that house? That's what I
I
thought
want to
about.
say it's the third one.
Yeah. 50 Shades Freed or
Yes.
fucking
Yes, that's
movie.
So Amanda goes and knocks on the front door, and Vincenzo opens it and he's like, oh, there you are, you little runaway, and like grabs her and brings her inside.
I have to say, there are certain things. I think the thing that makes this movie a stronger film overall than The Parent Trap, I'm sorry, is like moments like that where like Alyssa sets it up where she's like, I have no mom, I have no dad, I'm an orphan.
Yes.
Like she like makes this big declaration before she leaves the house that then when Amanda comes in, it sets up Vincenzo to go, oh, there's the little orphan. We've been waiting for you. Like there are certain things like that throughout the movie that like they could have not done. And we probably would have been sitting here laughing going, why would he just let her in the house? Like, you know what I mean? But it was like those weird little like through lines that I'm like, okay, they put some thought into this movie actually.
Yeah.
Yes.
And I love how Amanda is immediately like, you don't want to eat me? I'm skinny. There are other kids outside that you can eat that have more meat on their bones.
I actually, too, something else I love that I was like, damn, only kids in the 90s was that the kids make a lot of like pop culture references.
Mm-hmm.
You could tell that they were in front of a lot of like TV with reruns and, you know, like cable movies and stuff because they make a couple references. Like she calls him Lurch in that scene. And like they say something about pod people later on. And I'm like, you know, like, remember when kids like knew their history?
Yes, because they don't now.
Don't know anything, right? So I really appreciate it. I was like, damn, we really were so culturally well. I mean, look where we are to show for it now, right? Like, you know, so culturally enriched.
What I also loved when I think about the 90s movies that we watch as children, like this one, even though there were white main co-stars, there were a lot of Black children, a lot of Hispanic kids.
Yeah.
Like what I love about it is that it's not one of those scenarios where this takes place in New York and there's nothing but white kids.
But at the same time, I also appreciated that all the orphans were children of color except Amanda.
Yes.
Like it was a very diverse group of orphans.
Yes. Agreed.
It's
That too.
It's a woke orphanage.
But it did feel, and and the fact that she was the one who was never taken, because that also feels like something that a child of color would experience
Yeah.
being in an orphanage. But I was also mad at the kids for leaving her. They ran. I mean, I know kids are scared and they leave, but I was like, if those were my friends, I'd beat them up.
I was gonna say, well, girl, what's one thing we're gonna do in a scary situation?
We're gonna run. And if one of us runs, the others are running 100%. So it just depends. But I'm clocking that they left my girl in that house.
Yeah,
to
Danielle
be trafficked.
would be conflicted because it's like, I want to be ride or die, but I also don't want to.
No, I would have never.
Well, it sounds like you're riding, not dying.
No.
Actually.
I wouldn't have run away. I would have been like, oh, first of all, I would have never let you go up to that house by yourself. I would have been like,
you
where
would
you
have
going?
never made that dare.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have done that. I'm too scared to cat for that. I ain't going to that house.
No.
And Amanda, you better stay your ass here too.
Right, we're ding dong ditching together.
Right.
It's a group movement.
So I don't remember how Amanda runs away.
So she is sitting at the stone, and then
No, that's Alyssa.
oh, Amanda runs away.
Oh, Amanda.
Amanda
No.
goes
Oh,
upstairs.
you mean Alyssa? Where Alyssa
Wait.
runs away?
No, like, how do they meet in the woods?
Okay, so
Oh.
she runs. She runs because she sees Clarice with the mask.
Oh, that's
She gets
right.
scared
right.
and she runs out. And then
No, wait. No, she doesn't. The kids see Clarice with the mask, I thought, right?
they do, but then she also sees Clarice.
Okay.
Because she's upstairs.
Oh, that's
Right.
right. That's right.
She
Okay.
sees her painting of herself and she's like, what the fuck's happening? And then
Yes.
immediately sees Clarice and she hauls ass out of the house. And the other kids are still running. And at this point, Amanda has been introduced to Diane. Diane's talking to her, talking about she's been waiting for her, and takes her to go play flag football.
Which, by the way, that scene, like, imagine being Alyssa in that moment where she, like, this woman ethereally comes out of the window. She goes, "We've been waiting for you."
Right?
Where have you been? I was like, that's actually a horror movie if you cut it right.
True. And so she goes out and she's playing flag football. And I just want to say Kirstie Alley. What's her name again?
Diane.
And Diane is talking to one of the other counselors, pretty much saying, "Oh yeah, my girl is great at this. She runs real fast." And Amanda's like, "I don't know what's happening." And they're calling her Alyssa. She's like, "Who the hell is Alyssa?" She gets the ball
Amanda.
and she's
Oh,
okay.
no,
She's
yeah,
Alyssa, and everyone's calling her Amanda. And she's
Yeah.
like, "I don't know who Amanda is," and she's running. I hate when they do the name alliteration too, like the two
Yeah.
A's. I hate that because now I'm
Especially
even more
because they are
confused.
no relation. It's not like
None.
a separated at birth scenario
Right.
or anything like that. So name them, give her Betty, and give
Or-
her Alyssa.
I was gonna say we have Hallie and Annie, which is like if you're going
Yeah.
to do, I don't know the term for this, but like whatever it would be that I guess that the names rhyme.
Right.
Basically.
Yeah.
Like it's still a through line thread, even though they're actually twins. But like I do kind of like that choice to make them not exactly the same name.
Yeah.
100%. So all the kids are chasing after her. So she runs fast, but she's like, F this, throws the ball, and she keeps running into the forest. Which, by the way, because I think Amanda is just so not scared of anything and such a tomboy that I don't think Diane gets upset about it or like worried.
Mhm.
But I don't think you should let the children be running into the forest.
Yeah, like
There's a lot of like abandoning your post
Yes.
in this movie.
But it's very true to how we were raised. So,
That's true.
and this
So-
is when she runs into
Yeah, so they're both running through the forest and they're running into each other, and then it's the whole like, you're me, I'm me, this
Yeah.
is impossible, like trying to compute that like they look the same.
Yeah. I just don't understand why it's never really like every single person in this movie that meets both of them just says, "Oh, identical strangers. Interesting. Crazy. Okay, what are we doing next?" Like nobody says we need to check the hospital records. Nobody says to Roger like, "You sure y'all didn't have twins?" And it was
Right.
just
No DNA testing is being
nothing.
done.
It's
That is a great point.
it's
Which is why
super
I think I
weird.
wish they would have leaned into some of the like magic whimsy of it all.
Yeah.
Like if you're going to make it like, well, we can't explain why this happened and we're not going to ask any questions, then like I don't
Or
know, more
if
magical.
if one of them had different hair color or something, like there are a few characters that's like, "You almost look like me. Hey, let's color our hair and see if we could look,
Yeah.
something." But identical. They were even wearing the same clothes.
Yeah, like very
Except
similar
one-
outfits.
Well, one was wearing overalls that had longer pants, and the other one had shorts overalls on with
Well,
the
and I
same
love-
color shirt.
That they keep saying identical strangers when in fact the Olsen twins are not
fraternal.
identical twins.
Right. But I will say, out of all the movies they've been in, this is the one that I had the hardest time differentiating between
Yeah,
the two.
for sure. I think like as their faces matured, it was clearer. And then
Yeah.
plus this is the first time we're really it's like seeing them like the thing that helped me keep it straight was like this is the blueprint for them being in this stereotype of Ashley being more prissy and Mary Kate being a tomboy.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Definitely. So they become fast friends and they're like, "Hey, I met Diane, she's delightful. You met Clarice, I'm assuming she's awful. Let's get Dad and Diane together." And Amanda's down. She's like, "Yeah, I'll go fuck shit up." Word. Like,
I would have done it anyway.
yeah,
Yeah.
say less. that lady's a bitch. Like,
Yeah.
she needs to be knocked down a few pegs. And so they agree to stay swapped. So Alyssa is going to be Amanda at camp, and Amanda is going to be Alyssa at the engagement party. And so we get the engagement party scene, and Amanda's just taking her sweet ass time. She's like, I don't give a shit. I don't want to go downstairs and like talk to grown-ups. That I have no interest. And so she's very late to the party. And then when she comes downstairs, Clarice is like, play something for the people. You're an excellent pianist. Go perform. And Amanda's like, seriously, I don't know how. And Clarice is like, you're gonna. And this is where we get the announcement, like, my soon-to-be stepdaughter, who I absolutely adore.
It's an excellent line read.
So
Like,
good.
on everybody's part. It's an excellent line read.
Yes. And then Amanda immediately takes that line, goes to the piano, and she's like, bitch, watch. And stands
Wait,
on
no,
the little
first we gotta
bench.
talk about how she reads her to filth, and she
Yes.
puts the escargot in the glass.
Yes.
Boss. And she's like, clear as glass. I can see right through you. And then walks the fuck away.
Which her
Ate
name
up,
actually means clear,
Yeah.
which is even funnier.
ate her ass up.
Yes.
Imagine getting read down by an 8-year-old. That's so embarrassing.
It's actually easier than you would think.
That's true. Why am I even saying this?
They have no filter.
No.
So she decides not to play something by, how did she say?
Chopin.
Chopin.
I was say because it's so funny because I remember being a kid and thinking to myself, okay, so it's not pronounced Chopin.
Yes.
But you guys never clear up. I didn't know for the longest time how it was pronounced.
Yes.
It was
So,
not Chopin.
so she sits down and she is just banging on that piano. She gets a little elbow into it and is just mashing on the piano and embarrassing Clarice. And the dad's just like, I don't know what. Like, makes no effort to be like, hey, cut it out. Like, that's expensive or anything. He's just like, yeah. Well.
Wait, what's the line where he's like, I think it's like, it seems like my daughter's asking for attention.
Yes.
And Vincenzo is like, she's demanding
She's
it.
demanding it. Have a conversation with your fucking kid, bro.
Yeah.
Right.
So what happens next? Oh, and they also, before they part ways in the woods, they agree to, Amanda's going to fuck shit up at the engagement party, and then they're going to meet at noon tomorrow at the stables to reconvene.
So here's my question.
Sure.
When do these two do all this shit? Because they're supposed to meet at noon the next day. She goes,
Yes.
Swimming with her dad? Because Clarice leaves to go to the city. So she's like, great, even better. She's doing a scene from Ghost with the pottery with Diane. Like, they're doing a lot of activities.
Yeah.
What
Wait,
time do
isn't
they get
there-
up?
Wait, isn't there? Oh no, you're right. Because I was gonna say, oh, that's right. He does tell her she's gonna go back to New York, and then, yeah, okay, never mind. You're right. I don't know why I was mixing up my timeline because it doesn't make sense. That's why.
I mean, after the party, the dad comes up to tuck in Amanda, who's supposed to be Alyssa, and she gets this like, I really do like having a dad around. And on the flip side, you see Alyssa experiencing a sloppy Joe for the first time, and the boys try to play a trick on her and put a frog in her bed, which shouldn't normally scare Amanda. The kids
Okay,
are already clocking.
I was talking about this with my husband that I was like, respectfully, as not scared of frogs as you could be, a frog doesn't belong in a bed.
Yes.
True.
Yeah, you're entitled to be freaked out even if you're normally very brave.
Right.
Yes.
But I do like that the kids are smart enough to say she's been taken over by a pod person. Like, they're clocking that she is
Because
not
none of the grown-ups
normal.
are.
No, they're not. They're, because I think it's just so, I can understand them not thinking immediately that she has a perfect stranger twin, but I could
Yeah.
say, like, she does Diane does say quite a few times, "You're acting super weird today."
Yeah.
I was thinking about that it's like, because even the choice, right? Like that technically, if you were paying close enough attention, you would know that one of them had shorts on, the other one had pants. But it's like
Yes.
the adults are kind of so caught up in their own world that they
Yeah.
don't notice those differences, which relatable, right? Not judging
My
any.
mom would have been like, "Where the hell you got that outfit from?"
That's
Yeah.
see, like I feel like these parents, like especially too, you're coming into the camp. Like Diane's got so much on her mind, Roger's got so much on his mind. It makes sense that the adults around aren't clocking those little details. Whereas kids, like it's not out of the realm of possibility that somebody could have an identical twin that they've never
Right.
met before in
Yeah.
their life.
And
Yeah.
so then we meet back up at the stable, and the timeline for the engagement, has that been moved up yet?
No,
No,
she's
it's
just
after.
saying that
That's right.
what they realize is, I think the piece that they didn't have before was that they wanted the parents to get together.
Yes.
So they've now discovered that Diane would be the perfect person for Roger. And Amanda's like, "I'm gonna go back to your house and you stay at the camp." And she's like, "Why?" "Because I know Diane back like the back of my hand, and you know your dad." So
Yeah.
it's like
Which they
that's
fucked that up, by the way. And
They
then they
did?
fucked that up because then they cut to Alyssa being nervous on the horse and Amanda being very comfortable,
Yeah.
supposedly. And it's like, but that wouldn't make sense.
right, because
That
Alyssa
wouldn't
should have experience on a
Alyssa, because
horse.
then he makes the comment like, "Hey, what happened to those equestrian lessons?"
Are you asking me an equestrian? I don't know
Yeah.
why I love that line, but I do.
That is true. That is weird.
I think that just is like a weird plot mistake
Yeah.
Yeah.
in
And
an
so-
otherwise pretty good movie.
And so they do devise this plan where Roger is going to save Diane because they're going to go on a horse ride and the horse is going to go rogue and then he's going to swoop in and save them. So, and that's what happens. And this whole part of the movie is just so sweet and I love it so much.
It's a really good meet cute. It's such a good
It's
meet
so
cute.
good.
And they
then,
did
like,
their own stunt.
wild.
Allegedly, I saw that, but I was like, I don't know if that's true. I can't imagine that's true.
So during the horse chase scene between Kirstie Alley and Steve Guttenberg, it can be clearly seen that they are indeed the ones doing their own riding stunts in almost every clip of that scene. So maybe
Which
not
is
when he
cool.
flips off the horse.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love, like, Kirstie Alley. I know when she was alive, she was cuckoo, but I love her as an actress. Like, I just, any movie she's in, she's just so fantastic. And my family, we're diehard Look Who's Talking fans. And so, like, Look Who's Talking Now is like one of our Christmas movies that we watch every year. And she's just so good and so charismatic, and her comedic timing's impeccable. And her hair is so fantastic.
I was going to talk about her hair. Her hair is so beautiful.
It's so beautiful. She does that hair flip and it like just beautifully falls into
Cascades
place.
down. That's all I ever wanted my whole
Yes.
life, was to be able to do that. Oh, I know.
Yeah.
She sucks. Okay, we
Yeah.
know she sucked.
Jeez.
R.I.P.
Agreed.
Not-
She was
well,
in
no,
a she was
not
in a cult, and then she supported another cult, and she's one of the people that supported this situation we're in now. So I don't really fuck with that. I agree that like my younger self definitely had an affinity for her because she was in so many of my childhood favorites,
Mhm.
but I just
Just-
don't even feel that anymore.
Just speaking from a pure like acting perspective.
No,
Right.
I get it.
Yeah.
Kirstie Alley and Diane Barrows are two different people in my
Two
life.
completely different people.
I understand.
But
So-
Steve Guttenberg and Roger Calloway are related, because Steve Guttenberg, if you don't follow him on Instagram, follow him on Instagram. He is delightful. Like the sweetest, cutest man you've ever seen in your whole life.
I pray nothing ever comes out about that man because
No,
he
I'm
is
telling
so
you,
sweet, and
he's
but
so
then like
good-hearted.
when we watched Veronica Mars,
It
and
was so hard.
It was the worst. Did you watch that show?
No.
Oh, girl. It's a good show, and I don't want to ruin anything else. but
Okay.
you should watch it. It's on
He
Netflix now.
plays a very counter character to what he
What
typically
we,
plays.
yeah,
And
and
so
it throws
even
you off.
rewatching this movie, I was just like,
Oh no.
oh,
Right.
I
I had to, it was
remember.
a refresher
Yeah.
Oh my
because
God, no, go follow him on Instagram. It will like reset everything you know about him. He's
Okay,
so
perfect.
sweet. And isn't also like Jane Simmett is also like very progressive, right? Am I mixing
who?
her up with somebody else? Jane, that's her name, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, Jane.
Clarice.
Clarice. She's
Oh, I
also
don't
very,
know.
I think so. I could be mixing her up with somebody else, but I feel like she's very outspokenly progressive.
I
Let me
haven't
see.
seen her since this movie. No, let me stop. Hey, was it on social? You've seen her?
Yeah. Hold on, I'm
Okay.
gonna go look it up to confirm.
So now what happens? Where are we?
So we get the meet cute, and then because Roger has hurt himself, they go back to the house and she's fixing his boo-boos and blowing on. But it's not in like a like, oh, I'm attracted to this guy. It's almost she's realizing she's attracted to him as she talks to him. And so it's like the thing she's doing is just because she's a nurturer by nature.
Yeah.
But then Clarice calls, her spidey senses were tingling. And so she calls, and oh, the scene behind Sonia happens when Clarice leaves to go to the city, and Amanda puts gum in her hair. And so Clarice calls to like be like, I had to chop all my hair off.
At
Which,
the root of the
Yes.
hair.
I'm
That's what
sorry.
kills me.
I think in a movie where there are two identical strangers, somehow the least plausible part of this film is the fact that a fancy salon cannot figure out how to get gum out of
Yes.
hair.
Yeah, like I never
Then
understood
just
why
put
they
conditioner in it.
right
Yes.
or ice
Or
to get
peanut
it, but
butter.
because like if you look at the scene where the gum is, it's does not warrant taking all of her cutting all of her hair because she
It
could have
doesn't
hid
warrant
it.
cutting hair, period.
Yeah.
It doesn't warrant, like, literally just work on it a little bit. It'll come out.
And
Yeah.
then they gave her the
The
worst
worst.
haircut I have
It-
ever seen.
It's so bad. I would have bought a wig. Like, ain't no way. And then when she comes back, Vincenzo is watching both Roger and Diane together because of a whole nother situation. And after seeing that maybe your man might be going another way,
Mhm.
instead of calling him out on that shit, she's like, let's push up the wedding.
So weird.
Yes.
I
Well,
guess,
because she just
doesn't
wants
wanna
the
lose him.
money, baby.
Exactly. Yeah,
Yeah.
she doesn't want to lose him. What else was I gonna say about this scene too that I thought was, oh, it is kind of crazy that, like you say, like whatever, Diane is just like a nurturer by nature. Blowing on his cut is crazy.
Yes.
Blowing on a man's face that you just met, crazy work. Like he is that fine. Steve Guttenberg in this movie is that fine. But like to just do that is so bold.
But Diane, the way Diane responds to this whole situation is so different than in all the other movies, right? When like she just when she finds out he has a fiance, she's just cool, calm, and collected and said, this could have been a real thing." Like she
I know my
is
worth.
Yeah.
she's an older woman in this
Yeah.
situation that is like grounded in, if I like something and I see it, I'm gonna take it. Diane will steal your man. That is the difference, I think, because the mom
Clarice?
and the parent and
Oh,
no, Diane will steal
Okay.
your man.
yeah. Sorry.
Because if you look at what happens in the Parent Trap, once the mom sees that he's got this little new fine shit, she's
Mhm.
like, I'm just gonna live my life. She like backs off. She's not trying to. Diane will steal your man, and
No,
the only
she does panic a little bit.
she
Panics
she
a little
does
bit at first, but then like when sparks fly, she's like, "Well, I can't help it."
right, but she like if you gave her a runway, she gonna take it. She's
she
not
does
like
have lunch in the mess hall with him.
well, that happens before she finds out he has a fiance.
No, it's
No, that's after.
No,
So-
when they get in the water, he tells her that he has a fiance.
maybe she just thinks that like she knows he's on the phone with a woman,
Yeah,
Yes.
but she doesn't.
but she doesn't know the nature of their relationship.
Correct.
Right. And so since it's kind of blurry, if you haven't said it, I'm gonna keep going. But
Right.
yeah.
And the reason why he goes to the camp is to apologize because she walks away
Yeah.
because he takes the call.
And that's what he likes
Yeah,
because
no, it's like it's pretty obvious from the gift that he likes her. Like he definitely fell first.
yeah, 100%. But I like that she like shows him a little bit that she has standards. Like I'm not ready to wait around for and he's chasing her. He didn't
Yeah.
have to do that with Clarice.
Yeah.
And he he can't get her out of his head.
Gobbled
She
it up.
played that like a boss, honestly.
Yeah.
We all need to be more like Diane.
Yeah. So we're at the camp now, and he invites her out to lunch. Also questionable if you have a fiance.
Right.
To apologize, and she's like, "Well, I'm on mess hall duty. It's my kid's turn to serve." And so she's like, "We're having mac and cheese if you want to come join us." And so he like so eagerly agrees to have like shitty camp food prepared by children.
Reminds him of his dead wife. So fair enough, I guess.
Facts.
He does say that he hadn't been to the camp since his wife had passed away.
The way Diane responds to this, he says, "Oh my," he says, "My wife loved or had blah blah blah," and she says, "Had or loved, past tense Y, you know," and he's like, "Oh, my wife passed away," and she's like, "Oh, sorry," and it was just like there was no like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry." It was just it was.
Like,
Go
oh,
back.
so you're saying there's a chance.
Yes.
Go back and watch that scene because I was like, oh my God, Diane don't care.
I do love that she's a little bit desperate.
Yes.
Like, and also I love to imagine too that she's a little bit desperate, not just for like a man for the sake of having a man, but it's like I'm one step closer to adopting my dream child.
Yes.
Yes.
Dual income, more
Yes.
likely to be approved.
And she's still trying to work on adopting Amanda, and she's still getting denied.
Yeah.
And then now we're in the mess hall, and Alyssa's like, "Oh shit, I have to walk right by my dad, who's now in the mess hall." And so she puts a chef's hat over her head and like is trying to like nod and like respond to Diane, and Diane's like, "Take that shit off. Like, what's happening?" And so like as the hat's being removed, she puts her foot out and trips a kid with a bowl of mac and cheese.
The kid that she's always got beef with. So
Yes.
it's fitting.
Yes.
But what are the chances that that boy trips and that bowl of macaroni and cheese hits Roger directly on the head at the same time? I'm like,
Again, more magic, and we need to incorporate more magic and whimsy
Yes.
into the plot. I'm sorry. It would help. It would help fix these like handful of plot holes that we have.
And so now Roger is covered in mac and cheese. At first, Diane is like mortified, but that fully
No, she
resolves.
laughs.
Well,
She's
like at first, she's
laughing.
just like, "Of
Oh, yeah.
course," like, "Of course," and then it quickly turns into her just laughing at him. And so his response is to fling butter in her hair.
Honestly, though, I have to say their chemistry in this scene off the fucking charts.
So good.
yeah.
It's so hot. Like it's just an insane thing to say with children present. But like he's like, "Oh, really?" And I'm like,
Oh my, Roger.
"Yeah." Because in case I haven't stressed it enough, Steve Gutenberg is so fucking hot at this.
I was like, his wardrobe is very quintessential early 90s, mid 90s dad.
Yeah.
Like the braided belt, the jeans, the polo shirt tucked in, the sensible like sneakers. And I'm like, I guess just people now, it's more like cargo shorts and like, or
Right.
like athletic, like Drywick shirts.
No, he's like
and stuff.
representing. That's not how Roger Calloway would be dressed if they made it. If they remade it today.
No. It took me back to a time and a place, and I enjoyed it.
I also
Mhm.
feel like you could tell that they filmed this in Canada because they were dressed with a few too many layers.
Yes.
For
The
the
Adirondacks
heat.
or whatever in the summertime.
Yeah.
I'm like, why is Diane in a sweater and jeans?
Yes.
I feel like Kirstie Alley, just growing up, I remember seeing her fluctuations in weight. And your
Oh,
mom
that's
would
the
always
thing.
buy, Jackie, all those. Did she buy those like Enquirer things, those
Oh
magazines
yeah, all the
all the
time.
time?
It was National Enquirer, it was Star. People was like the high echelon of like, oh,
Oh
that's
yeah.
actually reporting.
Yeah. So seeing those magazines growing up, especially at
That's a
Jackie's
good
house.
point. I'm not even thinking about the fact that it was the 90s and Kirstie Alley is probably considered fat here during
Yes.
that time. That's
So
such a good
like
point.
watching her in this film where normally you would see like fashion out the off the tens with she just looks like a very regular person
Yes.
That's such a good
in this
point.
movie. Not in a bad way, it was refreshing.
But
Yeah.
well, no, see, I feel like now that you mention it, you're right. Like, because I guarantee if she was skinny, like who is the one in the Parent Trap? Like Miranda, what's her name again? That is
Richardson.
Miranda Richardson, right?
Yeah.
That it's like she probably would have been in one of those like sleeveless vests, like the vest things with no
Yes.
shirt
Yes.
underneath, or maybe a t-shirt even. But Kirstie Alley's in long sleeves, I think, almost the whole movie.
Yeah. And like blazers and stuff like
Right,
that.
like right,
Yeah.
the scene at the end is she's in a blazer.
But you don't focus on it. It was an observation I made, but it's like you really don't think about
Yeah.
it.
I was thinking about it strictly from temperature.
Yeah.
Strictly a temperature thing. Like, girl, are you not sweating? And then
Right.
now, unfortunately, fat phobia ruins the party again.
Yeah.
And Diane, like after the immense food fight that happens in the mess hall, like gives me, it stresses me out because I'm just like, who is cleaning this up? There has got to be food in crevasses to this day.
Okay, but also, if she's on mess hall duty,
Yes.
right? She then just walks out.
Leaves. Yes.
Right. She
And
just
granted, obviously, her job is intact because she's leaving with the guy who owns the camp. But it is still kind of wild that it's like, oh, and have fun cleaning that up.
Yeah.
You
Right,
guys sort it out.
the whole summer she been on the fritz. Like
just
her
wandering.
coworkers have been taking
Yeah.
over things for her and she's getting mad at them because bitch, where were you? Kind of vibes.
Yeah.
But I do want to loop back to her clothes because I just want to mention the costume designer Molly McGinnis, which is great because she's worked with Kirstie in all of the Look Who's Talking films. So they definitely had a rapport, and it was probably a lot easier for her figure out what she was going to wear during this
Very
movie.
interesting.
So now we're outside, they're teasing each other, and then Roger decides, I'm going to go just drop in the lake.
Yeah.
I'm starting to think that some white people think that's bathing.
Yeah.
I'm
Because
willing
she
to give him a
offers a
pass this
shower.
one time. Yeah, oh right, she does. Never mind. I was gonna say I'm giving him a pass this one time, and now I'm like, just kidding.
Yeah, she's like, the showers are about. He's like, no, the lake will take care of it.
Because then I was thinking about, okay, now you're in a lake with sneakers and jeans and a polo shirt. So
Mm.
already your shit's heavy. She thinks you're drowning. And then I'm like, and you're going to get back in your Porsche and drive back to the house just soaking wet because there's no way you're drying out before
He's a
going
billionaire,
home.
baby.
He's got 20 other.
He's a
cars.
billionaire.
So now he's trying to get her to jump into the water, pretending that he can't swim. And she says it's cold. I'm like, girl, it's supposed to be summer. Why would it be
No.
cold?
Because lake water is awful. I
Really?
fucking hate lakes. Yes.
Okay.
Lake water is freezing no matter what time of year.
Ugh, I wouldn't do it. But they have this very cute moment. The girls have now snuck to where the canoes are
Yeah.
so that they can see all of it. And they are kicking and screaming in joy. Like they're so happy watching. And they're like,
Yay,
kiss,
us.
kiss, 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 kiss. And just when they're about to kiss, they knock over the canoes by accident. And Roger says, that was a sign because I ain't shit and I have a fiance.
Mhm.
And then Diane, she, gets out of the water and she's like, This could have been out of the park, home run. There was a lot of baseball references. I
World
stopped.
Series type
Yeah,
love, which is something Amanda had said earlier.
right.
Amanda posing as Alyssa had said to him earlier, and he was like, is this in a dictionary somewhere? Like, what is this
Right,
definition of love? But it gets him thinking, like, I do have more of a connection with Diana in this short period of time than I do with
because
Clarice.
Clarice doesn't even like baseball.
I just find it interesting that all of the rom-coms that we like, most of them take the span of 2 weeks, and these people are
Yeah.
like, I love
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
No
Like,
wonder we're
what do you know, I
fucked.
guess. Although, you know what I'm realizing in real time that like that whole like she doesn't even like baseball moment is so Twister coded. Like Jamie Gertz in Twister, like how she
Yes.
just simply can't hang. And that makes her a bad choice for him. And it's like, all right. Well, I mean, Clarice sucks. We've established this, but
Yeah.
like, oh
That is a
God,
different trope. So this is like the evil stepmom, evil
right.
girlfriend. That's
That
the
is disposable. I
disposable,
know, but like she does have a
trope.
little bit. It's the idea that it's just like she doesn't like the things that I like. Did you guys do Twister yet?
No,
Not
not
yet,
yet.
no.
Okay, well, bring me back. I have thoughts on that one.
But it's like,
Loving thoughts, but like critical thoughts nonetheless.
but it make like what I don't like is why it's not really discussed why he even picks someone like Clarice. But they do pick people like Clarice. These
Yeah.
men marry people like Clarice because the marriage, especially at that level of being that rich, has nothing to do with love or having compatibility in that way. What they have compatibility it are their compatibility is money
Yeah,
and
status.
being at the same level and how being moving in those circles matter and that she would know how to move in those circles.
I
So
guess
it's
that's
just
what it
easier
is.
because it's a business deal in his mind, I'm
Yeah.
sure.
Right.
So
As opposed to Meredith Blake, who's simply sexy as fuck.
Yeah.
right.
She's just really hot.
But she's in those circles too. Like her parents
Yeah.
probably had money. Like it's a different mindset that they don't really talk about because they always make it like all these women are so shrewd, but like you picked them for a
Yeah.
reason.
I think
Like nobody
Clarice was
made
just
you.
there. And in his mind,
Yeah.
it's like, okay, I've been grieving and Alyssa needs a mom. So,
And he's also kind of like a pretty laid back guy.
Yeah.
She's like very take charge, and she's like, "Oh no, we'll just do that." Like some men
yeah.
who
Right.
shall remain nameless, the man I married, like you know what I mean? Like some men just like a woman to tell them what to do. Like it just makes their lives easier to just have somebody do all the thinking.
Yeah.
So now they've parted ways. The girls are like, shit, we fucked things up. We
Oh
have
wait,
to
and
have
also
another
Clarice
chance.
has seen this happen. Clarice has seen them.
Yes.
Right.
Important because this is where I wrote Jane Sibbett is an incredible whiner.
Yes.
Like she is like she's like so good in a way that's like it's annoying, but still she's somehow very good at it. Like I don't know how to
Yeah.
explain that it's like it's annoying but not bad.
Yeah, she does a great job at it. It is her unique skill.
Yeah.
She has now decided that she's pushing up the wedding. As soon as when he gets home, Vincenzo's like, "She's back." And he's like, "What?"
Your hair, you're here.
And she's like, and the way that he's sitting on the bed and she is taking off his shoes and she's on her knees in between his legs and she's like, Snookums, we're going to move the wedding up.
We are also fresh off of seeing Diane's nipples, by the way.
Yes.
Yes.
Too. Wild. Just this
Yeah.
couple minute span in a movie just got really wow.
Heightens.
It
Yeah.
was for the grown-ups in the
Right.
audience.
Just making sure they were still paying attention at this point in the movie.
Nipple alert.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
how does Diane get involved? I know Alyssa goes to, or Amanda posing as Alyssa goes to Vincenzo and it was like, hey, you know everything about me, right? Do you remember this car and this car and this car?
That doesn't happen till later. What
No.
happens first is that Alyssa, as Amanda, writes a note to Diane to meet
apologize
her
about
debt. to meet Roger. And
Oh, yeah.
Amanda is trying to leave a note for her dad, and then she is swept away in this whole thing when they find out that they're going to
They're going
leave the
back to New York.
city
Yeah.
because the wedding has been moved up. They're going to have the wedding. So she kind of gets pulled away. At the same time that Diane is going to go meet Roger, she's in her black outfit. Again, it's hot girl, but whatever. The same time, Amanda, quote unquote, who's not really Alyssa, is being taken by another, I guess, Diane's boss, and the butt kisses to take her for, I don't know if she's getting adopted or if this is foster
No,
home.
that was already, it was already in the works earlier. They were saying like, hey, they're actually filling out the paperwork to make this happen.
Okay, so they come to collect Amanda and take her to the city. So as Diane is sitting there being stood up, as she thinks, by Roger, then she sees the car go by with Amanda, and she's like, what the hell? So she goes back and she's talking to her colleagues like, why didn't you come? Why didn't you stop this? I just laid in front of the damn bus. And they're like, bitch, we've been trying to find you. I don't know what to say. You know,
Right. She's like, would you have wanted me to? Like, she's like, why didn't you do something? She's like, would you have wanted me to? And she was like, yes. And it's like, that's a lot to ask.
right.
Yeah.
You're also putting my job on the line because clearly that was a
Right,
different
like, why am I
caseworker.
supposed to interfere with your custody dreams?
Right.
Well, yeah, because our whole goal is to find homes for these children. A home was found for this child, and now you're mad.
And I feel like they should know that the butt kisses are weird.
Everybody in
Yeah.
this situation should know that something's, well, I mean, I guess technically I always loved this part that it was like Diane tries to keep it together, but then when she's alone around the other adults, she says the exact same line as the kids. Like they collect children. Like,
Yeah.
you know, whatever, the exact same line is repeated again.
Yeah. Well, and it's just because, like, I feel like she could have petitioned harder, not from a standpoint of, hey, I want to adopt this child, but of a standpoint from, like, I am her social worker, and the vibes this family is giving off that wants to adopt her are not cool, and I cannot endorse this adoption.
But I understand because, like, in that system, especially that they have so many kids, they're like, we don't want more of these kids to try to place. They don't. I could see people getting lost in the shuffle, and
Yeah.
like logistically, legally, they couldn't find anything that these people did wrong, right?
Which did they do anything? Did they interview them? Did
They did. They did checks, but these people probably knew ahead of time when they were coming. The house itself looks fine. They
Yeah.
just didn't know that the kids were had to be doing labor, you know. If they had just asked the neighbor who was to
Right.
spill in all the tea
Which,
when
like,
Diane gets
also,
there.
by the way, does happen. Like,
Yeah.
you know, like I have some adoption in my family, like foster to adopt in my family, and like, yeah, they interview people. They do a lot of, I mean, like, they do more due diligence, like,
Yeah.
but not for the sake of the movie.
Yeah. So now Diane is like, I've got to go find Amanda. And at the same time, now, Jackie, we are with Alyssa. She's got to
Amanda.
find Amanda / Alyssa. Alyssa is in, I guess, their New York home, their house or apartment in the city, Jesus. And Amanda gets a call from Alyssa saying, like, you've got to get me out of here because she's met the butt kisses. They're telling her new name is Betty. She's got her workman jumpsuit on. She's at the scrapyard and she's like, yo, these people are crazy and I got to get the fuck out of here. And Amanda's like, I got adopted. This is the worst time ever. I hate these people. And she's like, and by the way, dad is getting married. Your dad's getting married today. And so they're trying to like find out what to do. And then Alyssa's call gets cut off by the kid from Harriet the Spy / Get Over It. That's all I remember him from.
That's right.
And at
That's who he is.
yes,
Ah, yes.
it's all clicking for you now.
It is.
And at the same time, Amanda's like, oh shit, I gotta get out of here. So she tells Vincenzo, like, she shows him all these things that Alyssa clearly doesn't have scars from. And he's like, what are we gonna do? And she's like, devised a plan that we've got to get Diane to be here. I need Dad to see her one time before we actually go and get a, whatever. So Vincenzo goes to find Diane and brings her back. Somehow Diane was able to get to Staten Island and then back
No, she
upstate.
did Manhattan first.
Oh, did she go back to the Manhattan place? Okay,
Yeah.
because I was like, did she go back to the camp? So somehow Vincenzo knows that she's in Manhattan, and
Yes.
he finds her.
I'm guessing he probably went to the camp, and the camp told her.
Yeah, or called the camp
'cause
or something.
He shows up as she's holding Amanda's picture, and then
Yes.
he's like, "This
You
is
got-
my Alyssa," and then she's like, "Identical strangers,"
and
then-
doesn't question it
Right,
at all.
no, identical strangers, no other question, no,
Yeah.
no explanation.
No answers needed. And so now they take the helicopter to go get Alyssa. And Alyssa has told the Buckuses, I'm a princess, bitch.
Mhm.
I needs to get out of here. Y'all don't know. I'ma have your ass. My dad's gonna not just get you, he gonna buy the whole damn town.
The whole town of Staten Island, like fuck
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah,
And
because he
then-
can.
demolish
you can't
it.
live here anymore.
Right.
Like, you're gonna have to move.
So
And then these kids are so mean
It's
that
really
Yeah.
this part is kind of fucked up, actually, like very
Yeah.
fucked up.
they make her a crown out of like a tin can and
Damn.
like a robe out of just like scrap fabric and a scepter that's like a plunger, and they're just like, oh, you want to be a queen, you want to be a princess, here you go.
The part when the dad says, when the son is like bossing Alyssa around, and she's like, he's pretty much telling her to shut the hell up, and the dad's like, hey, he's management.
Yeah.
Wild. Blew my mind. 'Cause what? Oh my God.
So Diane does say, like, there's no way I can make it to Staten Island and back by the time the wedding happens. And so she's thinking about it, and she gets to Staten Island, rescues Amanda. No.
Vincenzo's like, no worry about it. We've got the helicopter.
Yes.
They take the helicopter and they come and get Alyssa
No,
just in time.
No, she gets to Staten Island. She realizes they're not at the house.
That's right.
They're at the scrap yard, and
Yes.
that's when she takes the helicopter.
Yeah, she calls Lou because Vincenzo's like, if you need help, call Lou. And she
Right.
asks for the neighbor's phone.
Right,
He's like,
and then again, another line that just stuck in my head. Lou who?
Now they're in Central Park because
Yes.
that's where, of course, the helicopter can land.
Pre
That-
9/11, baby.
Not gonna question any of that. And then they, of course, have to take a horse and carriage, which they steal.
yes.
And
Which
Alyssa is now
reminded
riding.
me of when we went to New York and somehow we got like 2 free buggy rides because
Yeah,
you
that's
just talk
crazy.
to people.
I do talk to people. I do get a lot of free shit that way. That and my boobs.
Or sometimes a combination of both.
Right,
Yes,
that period.
facts.
Exactly. Hello.
So yeah, and Alyssa takes charge and she's like, bet, hiya, let's go. And is like driving this horse and carriage to the church. And then the whole time Diane's telling herself, like, I'm not going in the church. I'm not going in the church. I'm not going in the church. And then Alyssa stands on the steps and she like calls her by her full name, and she's just like full body convulsions yelling.
Right,
at
it's like a
her.
legitimate tantrum that she should have aged out of by this
Yes.
point.
She's like, get your ass and let's go.
Yeah.
I loved it. I loved it. It was like Amanda rubbed off on her a little bit.
Yes.
Yeah.
It was effective because Diane's like, okay. And she walks in and she's just like, hey guys. And so Roger sees her, and then Roger sees Oh no.
Uh,
Amanda sees Alyssa first and she was like, "It's about time." And she like throws the flower girl basket.
I was gonna say, I also appreciate like because Amanda's like form of sabotage as Alyssa like throughout the movie is so fucking good. But like this particular thing where she's like doing every fucking like
Hmm.
vaudeville style shit in the book to like stall this wedding, like
Like
over the top. It's so funny.
laying petal by petal, taking the smallest steps ever. And Clarissa's just
Uh,
standing there like, let's get this show on the road.
I love that Clarissa's dad is like such an a-hole throughout the whole process.
Yeah.
Like not even excited. He's just like, my oldest is getting married last and just
And we're
all
like, oh,
sorts of
this is
stuff.
where the trauma is coming from, but also
Yes.
fuck you, Clarice. Go
Right.
to therapy.
And the fact that she runs down the aisle, she's like, fuck this shit. She
I love
runs
that
past
part.
the
She's
flower
like,
girl.
fuck this, and sprints down the aisle.
And all the bridesmaids are behind her, which I'm confused because shouldn't the bridesmaids have I guess they're all
No,
waiting
she
for the
runs
flower
past the
girl.
bridesmaid. Yeah, the
Yeah.
flower girl goes first, then the bridesmaids.
Yeah.
then.
Yeah. So then she gets up there and Roger is like, I don't know. Why did you do this? He is like questioning. You could see it in his face. The poor priest is
Yeah.
going slow as hell. And Roger finally says, you know, I can't do this. And I probably should have told you earlier. You think? And he's like, I'm in love with someone else. And then what is crazy is that her first reaction is not, she slaps him.
Mhm.
And that should, I would have just kept hitting him maybe, but she wants to hit the child. And
Mhm.
Vincenzo's like, lady.
She's enthusiastic about hitting a child, which
Yeah.
also, I mean, again, we talked about this on the bonus, but like, it is kind of interesting that Vincenzo is the one to stand up to
Yeah.
her about hitting her. Like, Roger, say something.
I feel
Yes.
like Roger's kind of in shock because he just got slapped.
I guess that's
but
true.
also, I think we needed this moment because Vincenzo has been biting his tongue this whole time because
Yeah.
he's been clocking things that Roger hasn't seen.
Mhm.
So
That's a good point.
definitely the mama bear came out of his ass and was like, bitch, I will molly whop your ass all up and down Park Avenue with your
Also,
shit.
I just want to say, I was shocked to find out that Philip Bosco never played Santa in anything. He would be such a
Oh.
good Santa.
Yeah.
He would have been sweet for sure.
Yeah. Jersey City's own.
Then Roger notices Alyssa and then Amanda, and he's like, identical strangers.
Identical strangers, no question.
Yeah.
No, everybody says identical strangers, and no one says, "Did we have another child?" Because
Yeah. Like I watched one come out of your mom's hoo-ha. Something like
right,
I
This
was
is-
there.
yeah.
right.
And then he sees Diane, who's just sheepishly waiting at the back of the church. And so then he just leaves with the girls and Diane.
No, the part we missed, sorry, is that they all see Alyssa, even crazy lady
Yeah.
Clarice.
Clarice
sees-
is like, oh, good. At least I can hit this one.
Yes.
Which is insane. We're in a church in front of a priest and all of these
and
people.
she doesn't say like, where does this other child come from? She don't care. She's like, I
She's
can
like,
hit
I
him.
love, she's like, this is a conspiracy. This is a conspiracy. At least I get to hit you. And then Diane goes like, all right, you can't hit this kid either, bitch.
She's
And
like,
then
I
she
will fuck
runs
you
off,
up.
which is side note because I just happened to like look up during the credits at this part. The dress is Dior.
Oh.
The dress is Dior, which I cannot believe they showed it ripping like that.
I know. Yeah, because Alyssa steps on the train of the dress and rips the entire ass end off.
Yeah.
She doesn't have a slip on. My grandma would have
Yeah,
died.
that was wild.
She
was
just
ready
had,
to bone.
She's got like garters and shit, but no slip, no nothing.
what the other part that was crazy was why were there so many people in there that had like cameras as if they were paparazzi? Like I knew there was paparazzi in the back, but even in the front, and like everyone's laughing. So none of these people are your friends? That's
Yeah.
wild.
I feel like because I was thinking about that too. I'm like, even if that is my friend, that is absurd. You do have to laugh a little bit. Because why did your whole gown rip? Why are you ass out in the church?
Damn.
I bet all of her bridesmaids are hired.
Yeah,
I
probably.
No,
bet
she
there's
talks about like her friends. I feel like it's one of those like
Toxic
Mingle.
girl groups.
no, like I think it's like like you see them on like the Am I the Asshole like bridal like wedding subreddits where it's just like you just have these people around like and it's
Yeah.
it's all aesthetic driven.
True. So now that's when everybody kind of comes together and Diane and Roger start getting closer and the girls are like, just kiss already. And they're like, wait the fuck. Like, or I don't know if they say just kiss already, but they definitely are
Yeah, they
insinuating.
do.
Mhm.
Yeah. And that they've been planning. And so they're like, so y'all have been knowing about this? Like, what? This
And they're
whole
just like,
time?
yeah.
Almost as if we set it up. Genius.
Yeah. And then the poor man who has been robbed runs over. He was just trying to eat his lunch, and his horse and buggy have been stolen.
How
And
did he
Roger,
find them though? Like he had no idea where they were going because they went a little like they went
yeah,
far.
Yeah.
But he's like, what the hell?
can I
Well, I
have
guess
my
like, if you
horse
go
back?
far enough, right? Like you venture far, you know that they took off down Park Ave. Like just wait long enough and you'll find the horse.
Yeah.
Right.
But then Roger's like, Vincenzo, handle this. We want to purchase this horse no matter the cost. And I'm like, what if? Then I started creating a backstory for the carriage man. I'm like, what if this is like his pride and joy and like this horse has been with him for 20
Right.
years and it's how he makes his money and all of and I'm like, I get like he get paid whatever, but I was putting like the relationship with the horse into account and I'm like, don't
Any
take this
person
man's horse.
I don't know. Those horses are so abused. They're trying to break
That's
up
what I was
the
gonna
bond
say.
in
Any
the city
person
now.
that has that horse does not love that horse because
Yeah.
you would never do that to the horse. But he has to at least have enough money to get another horse if
Yeah.
you're going and like the amount it would take
Right. If you
to
want to
inconvenience
stay
him.
in this line of work, where like technically you could ask to be retired.
Right.
So they have a new horse and they kind of just
And Vincenzo has to drive the
yeah,
like what is his job description?
Everything. He's Olivia Pope,
Buttling.
the fixer.
Like I would have been, sir, this is enough. Okay?
Or at the very least, Vincenzo knows somebody who could.
Right.
And then the movie ends with the song It Takes Two by Marvin Gaye and Kim Weston. And that's It Takes Two.
Solid
Did it.
soundtrack across the board, by the
Oh,
way.
it's so good.
Like
Like
what an
Tutti
incredible
Frutti
series.
and the
Like
Mess Hall.
I can't believe they got a lot of rights to a lot of these songs.
Yeah, and that it could be
I think
streaming on top of that.
And right. And then two different because they have the Twilight Zone. They play the Twilight Zone theme at one point.
Yes.
But whatever. I don't know what it's from. The do 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 do. Like when they're on the horse. One of the horse scenes.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's like from something famously. Like I think it was. I don't think that's original score. I think that's
like
from
Bonanza or something like
yes,
that.
yes.
Yeah.
I think so. Wow.
Well, like Danielle said, there aren't many other fun facts. I think there's only one other one. The camp used in the film was Camp Minneyoe, located in Muskoka, Ontario, which is still an active summer camp today. Can we go to grown-up summer camp at the It Takes Two summer camp?
I would
Unfortunately,
prefer...
though, not fun fact. They did knock down the house in 2023.
Aw.
The mansion, because
I
that's
would
where I would stay.
Yeah.
I would prefer to go to the Parent Trap camp. I don't know why. I like their camp shirts and stuff. I don't
That's
really
true,
have
the
a
merch-
vibe.
Better another camp. But this one, I don't know. I really am such an East Coast girl to my core that like I love this era of New York movies. I love like this of representation on screen that even though it's Canada, I'm still like in my mind. This is the Adirondacks. This is whatever. I love it.
Well, before we get into our ratings, Sonia, why don't you tell everybody where they can find you on social?
Yeah, so you can follow me on Instagram, Threads, and TikTok at No Chillery Banks.
And you guys can follow us at No More Late Fees on Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Twitter, YouTube, Threads, all the places. And we're going to start with you, Sonia. Now that we've rewatched the movie, what is your today ratings of It Takes Two?
I'm like fluctuating between 5-day rental and 2-day rental, where it's like it holds up entertainment value wise like pretty well. Like obviously it's not perfect. There's a lot of plot holes as we spent all this time pointing out. Like, but I think that in general it's like a feel good movie, and I think I think it's very cute. I think the chemistry's there. I think all the adults are really warm and safe, which I think is really good, important representation for kids as well. And I guess I'm gonna lean towards 5-day rental.
Jackie?
Excellent. It's still a would buy. I very much enjoyed
Oh yeah.
my entire time watching it. I was talking with my friends. We may watch it tomorrow night when we have girls' night. So
Aw.
Nice. It still would buy for me. Like, didn't realize how hardcore I used to go for this one. And I really, like, honestly, there weren't a whole lot of things that made me feel like, oh, that didn't age well. Like, it was still
Yeah.
really good. So, A
definitely.
plus.
And if you have any comments about It Takes Two, hit us up on our quick drop 909-601-6653, and you could be featured on a future episode.
And don't miss next week's episode as we go back to 2003 with the movie Grind, and a bonus episode where we dive back into Jackie's Warped Tour days.
And Sonia,
Also,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, during the course of this conversation, I realized I never brought up that like this is one of the first movies I remember going to see with friends in theaters, like not as like not by ourselves, like with parents. And I
Yeah.
distinctly remember I must have gone opening weekend because I wish I could have fished it out, but I'm not getting involved in my attic at like 8 months pregnant. But like they gave us like a button, like a promotional like
Aw.
pin. Like it was like it was big too. Because if y'all remember when American Girl used to do pins? Like, I don't know, the audience, maybe somebody in the audience remembers they used to do pins. I had this It Takes Two pin, and it was massive, like compared to all the other pins. So I just have this very distinct
Wow.
memory of that. It was like my favorite movie theater to go to as a kid. I still have dreams about that place. So like
Aw.
this was all warm, fuzzy feelings, and I'm so glad that I got the opportunity to talk about it with you guys.
Aw.
Well, thank you for joining us. It was too long, and I've already jotted your name down for Twister. So we are super appreciative that you came on and had this conversation with us.
Thank you guys. I love
Yes.
talking to you so much. This is great.
And as always, be kind and rewind.